Welcoming you back to crypto's juiciest news. What did Jay Powell say about the economy? What are Trump's thoughts on everybody selling right now? Is StableCoin SuperCycle still confirming? Did I hear some Nasdaq listed companies buying BNB? Did pDAI really rally 50%? That and more is coming right your way, friends. So we have the Bitcoin monthly candle at 106,000 American dollars. We are now back in the green. It's wonderful to see this. The Doji McDoji candle is now pretty much setting way for the next phase. We've been waiting a very long time, friends. A very long time. Okay. We have the new moon now. June 25th. The new moon. Not to be confused with the old moon. ETH-BTC is still pooped. It is still down in the floor, down in the dumps. Ethereum is pretty much stabilizing. Let's have a look at the CME gaps. Okay, remember, friends, we gapped down on this weekend. Thin liquidity, low liquidity. Nobody's got anything to hit except crypto. And then we just go back straight back up. So this was James Wynn, friends. Just to let you know, James Wynn, turbo bearish on altcoins. He's turbo bearish on Bitcoin, which is great because you could just tell he's a great fade signal as well. Doesn't know what he's doing. Shout out to James Wynn as well. This is pretty much everything you need to see, friends, is the price of oil. Oil literally gaps up over the weekend and then drops a whopping 17% lower. Show me the chart, I'll tell you the news. Okay, the chart was already saying that all of this was fugazi. Okay, when it started trading down, yes, pretty much that's oil, right? As soon as it started happening, we knew, okay? Because markets, they know, man. They know, okay? Because if you had any inside information, go and trade and make money. It's wonderful to see that type of stuff, isn't it? If we look at the Bitcoin weekly chart, we've had a very nice green candle which has reverse engulfed, if you will, this other green candle out here. We still have a green weekly super trend. Do we have anything to worry about? No, it's been a very long time though. We need to play some Puppy G music for us. Altcoins been too depressing and too sad. This is the Ethereum weekly chart. Remember, Ethereum has a massive gargantuan key level at 3,800. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 3,800. 6, man. 6. And look how much we got scammed in 2021. It broke. Look, it hit once and twice, and then it confidently broke 3,800. Guess what it did? Came back down, used it as support, and then broke the support anyway. What a scam, man. That's all this TA and stuff out here, friends. It's not about predicting the future. It's just trying to look for spots where you think that the market could hold up. Speaking about holding up, Bitcoin dominance still up only. I still a believer, friends. Altcoins are the infrastructure of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's got no tech. So, like, do you honestly believe Vitalik, Richard Hart, Sergey Nazarov, you really believe that every single person in crypto who's gone into altcoins, do you really think like all of them were greedy? Do you really believe that? Because that's what Bitcoin maxes will have you believe. Okay, all these people are greedy. They sold their Bitcoin. Now they're in altcoins to make money. Do you really think it's because of greed? Or do you think they went there because they have to? Because they want to add stuff to crypto. They want to do things with technology that Bitcoin can't provide. Okay, so what do you think it's going to be? Obviously, if you're holding Bitcoin portfolios, which, friends, I've actually seen, I know what most of your portfolios are. We've got data coming out here off the top of my head. The average investor, there you guys are. You guys, we're going to have a big trap at the top. Big trap. You guys have 33% of your portfolio is still stable coins. That's the average investor. You have a third Bitcoin and a third stable coins. You are absolutely finished. You have this one, friends. I'm going to show you later on. Maybe I'll get to it. I'd have to make more coverage on this. The average crypto guy. Let's actually have a quick sneak peek at this, because before we even look at anything, this is just, it's making me more bullish to see this. Okay. Look at this. 33% is the average stablecoin average portfolio. This is a snapshot. All users. 33. You are gonna get molested. Oh my gosh. Wow. I can't believe that. You're gonna get cucked. You're gonna get cucked so hard. Do you want to know what's funny? Do you know they track what, like, the big smart wallet, smart money, big dudes in crypto? Their stablecoin portfolio allocation hovers between 5 and 10% of their wallets. Yeah. So the average, think about that, compared to the smart people who are here super long term, their portfolio is like 5 or 10%. But it's kind of like there's a bit more to uncover with that. It's because these people got in so early, like maybe they got 5,000 Ethereum for like $20 or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's hard for them to just sell a lot and have a lot of stablecoins. But just use that as a base metric. Think about the average person is winning. They fluctuate between 5 and 10% stablecoins. But the average investor, with average, remember, average person loses. Average person is a pleb. Average person gets wrecked. So this is, I'm looking at this is the wrong portfolio. Okay? Now, obviously, then people interject, right? Let's play some angel music for them. They interject with their own thoughts. They go, okay, it's wrong, but how is it wrong? You know? Some people will say, okay, they're underallocated to stable coins. You see? They go, oh, 33%, maybe it should be 133%. Maybe it should have a lot of stable coins. Other people, obviously Bitcoin maxis, believe that 31% Bitcoin allocation is too little. It should be 100%. You see? So everyone's going to argue different ways with this. I can tell you right now, having 8% of your portfolio is Ethereum, all right? 8% and altcoins 23%. Wrong. Totally. At this point, like, that's what I'm just showing you, friends. If you go look at Bitcoin dominance, you have 4 years of up only. Just going to show you this, okay? So that's why investors, friends, and people, no one wants to be first and no one wants to be last. Yeah, no one is, everyone's too scared to fade the crowd. Look at this. This is not even up to RSIs and everything else. Not even like my opinion, but Bitcoin dominance has never been this expensive relative to altcoins ever in its history. This is the most expensive it's ever been. All right? This is 4 green years in a row. Another way to look at it is, forget the RSI and the numbers. It's like you've never had this many people trapped long. They don't know they're trapped yet. They think they're going to all make money. You know what I mean? The trap only like reveals itself once something kicks off. Like maybe Ethereum spikes up and then like we start altcoin mooning, which we're waiting and waiting and waiting forever. Seems like forever. But you know, they don't know they're trapped. Because friends, Willy Woo has sold literally all of his Bitcoin to buy Bitcoin mining infrastructure here, bro. Willy, I'm just so scared for you, bro. Bitcoin mining is the shittest industry you could ever participate in, okay? Bro, newsflash, Donald Trump doesn't care about decentralization. No one does. It's such a marginal thin industry. Oh, well. So it's never been this expensive, okay? It's literally never been this expensive. So it depends. All these people trapped, friends, they are looking, what they've done is they've zoomed in to this candle. They're like, oh, cool, Bitcoin dominance. Look, that's what they've said. They go, oh, Bitcoin dominance is going up. You see, they're just looking at these 12-month charts. They're like, oh, it's been going up forever. It's going to keep going up even more forever, all right? But I am looking at the big red arrow. The macro global trend, okay, is this, what this chart is saying is that altcoins are the infrastructure of crypto, the infrastructure of Bitcoin. That's what they're saying, okay? Now, no one believes me because the price. That's it. So that's why, you know, you have opportunity here. So think about that. The average portfolio, friends, of people, this is like really exciting. The average person's going to get wrecked hard, you know? Now, some people might say, hey, yeah, they have too much altcoins. Okay, so you could take that opinion. I just think, like, think about this, dude. You have had, so this is why everyone gets it wrong, right? That's why the average person loses. Bitcoin is the most expensive it's ever been against altcoins, ever. Ever. The most expensive, yet people have the lowest altcoin allocation they've ever had. And Bitcoin's the most expensive. Okay? So, like, you know, just by hearing those words, you know logically what that means. They go, oh, they're about to get wrecked. Yeah, you know that. But is anybody going to follow? No, they're going to follow only after the turn. So I've got more for you coming later as we explain all of that. This is the global liquidity cycle, the global liquidity fractal with Bitcoin, friends. Interesting. Look at this, man. It's literally, can you believe it? Like right on the new moon, we have a timed rise in global liquidity. Remember, Bitcoin, friends, Bitcoin is statistically special. It has an 89.5% correlation to global M2 liquidity. Not day to day, more like 3 month to 3 month or whatever it is, or month to month, okay? 89.5% over since 2013. So it is not just special from the story. Forget the story. Forget Satoshi. Statistically, it's special. Okay? Altcoins don't have that. Now, you might say, oh, I want something that does participate in the upside of global M2. Yeah, you say that now, but I promise you, when the business cycle does go up, all right, when it does go up, I promise you, people will be vomiting out Bitcoin. Yeah, the narrative, friends, the narrative will be a total 180 now. People will say, whoa, Bitcoin gives no yield. You can't farm with it. You can't do anything with it. It has no privacy. There's no dexes. It's still small. It's too big. It's too expensive. There's no retailer edge, right? Who are you trading against in altcoins? You're trading against like someone who likes sucking toes of LA vape cabal people, right? You would rather be in the ring with that type of twink. You don't want to be in the ring with an institutional whale who is quietly bidding Bitcoin at 20% below market price, leaving the bid there. You don't want to be playing against that guy because they're already rich. Yeah, there's no edge there and a liquidity stick. You see, you got to think about what game you're playing, friends. See, at our skill level, we like to think we're all special. We're not really, you know. So pretty much, friends, because I've seen this. Look, I've been in markets day trading where monkeys could make money doing this stuff. Literally, I've been in certain situations, playing correlations where like anybody sitting down could make money. Literally everybody. I've seen that. I've also seen environments and like tough markets. Like if you're trying to trade, say, the US Treasuries off price action and stuff out here, you get 1,000 people, 3 are going to be profitable. Literally 3. Yeah. Because it's just tougher. So you have to have like an extremely above average skill level to be able to win, right? So some people just keep grinding that out here. Depends on your personality type, right? But when it comes to markets, why play that game? That's the thing. So why play? It's like, you know, when you go to the park, you know, that when have the, you know, all the people who go to the park in Americana, you always see in the movies where they're playing chess, all the people playing chess on the streets in the park out there. Okay, if you can play chess, you got 1 hour to kill. Do you want to play chess with a grandmaster, or do you want to play with maybe homeless guy who's got no teeth? Now, the thing is, actually, watch out. Sometimes a homeless guy with no teeth, they're actually pretty good. But you get what I mean. Okay, why sit down and play against a grandmaster? You're just going to be spinning your wheel. So that's what we need, this framework in crypto, and that's why we're in altcoins. There's no grandmasters here in altcoins. A lot of it is totally random. Okay, but this is the best part. Altcoins go so far and they're so thin that when they start moving up, people who are in the grandmaster world, like Bitcoin, they're looking at all these other retardios. They're like, wait a minute. Why are you up 400% in like 3 months? You know what I mean? That's a lot. They're like, oh my God, I waited 4 years for 400%. You just got it in 3 months. So that's the type of FOMO that appears, but it's not here yet. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty of Bitcoin's price chart. This, friends, it's pretty much completed this part. We're now back in the middle of the zone. Do you remember, friends, we were going through this period? I said to you, well, usually, right, we've tapped liquidity out here. What you'd want to see as a price action trader is you recover back in here, you come out, and now it's probably doing this. You never know. It might just hang around here. That's your long now. So if you're trading off price action, you would be pretty much trying to get in here. Your stop is down here. So think about that. You're risking about, you know, a $7,000 move. And I guess you'd be trying to go, I guess, for 2 to 1. Hopefully you'd get to, you know, here is a 1x move and here is a 2x. You might even get a 3x move. You might be risking 1 to make 3. That would be price action trading. That would be almost like trader main style, where people use leverage. So if you're curious about that, I mean, that's the type of stuff I know of these things. So like, I don't care if anybody listens to me or not, but like I know all of this. Okay, I literally know this up, down, left, right. Okay, I've gone through all of it. Buying and holding long term crushes their bones beyond imagination. Okay, the problem is the waiting, because you get no dopamine. Yeah, you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. You literally, there is no dopamine at all. And there's always like these little blue balling areas. Goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, up, down, 30%, 40%, 50%. So it ping, 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 okay? Because we're living day to day. So it's easy to look at a chart and go, oh yeah, you just got to hold for these 3 years. Yeah, man, you just summarize 3 years with like one screenshot in your mind when you look at them with your eyeballs. But really, we live day to day. And they can feel like a long time. Now, because you're a baby doll, I'm going to show you just some charts from BCB. So remember, friends, I was showing you these before. So right here, we have on the right, on the second, third, and fourth, these is Bitcoin in the past, okay? What it tends to do, all right? And then we have, this is Bitcoin now. So Bitcoin now did what we call the ABC. So it actually went up, down, and then we had the whack, okay? We had the C leg. So that's what it tends to do most of the time. ABC, ABC, and then does this ABC, okay? So we've literally just done that right now, and now we're back in the middle of the zone. So actually, we are more like here, all right? We are more in that grindy up part and then up only. So we're ready to go for up only. You don't know how long it's going to take. Might be a bit more skitsy. You don't know what area or zone it's going to pretty much come back down to. But yes, we're ready to go up. And yeah, we've done this so many times before. And we're like hoping that Bitcoin's like, hey man, are you finally ready to pump altcoins? Like Bitcoin's above 100K now. We've been waiting since forever. So that's where we are now. Let's give some confidence out here. A zoom up of what it looks like is here as well. On the left-hand side, remember, that's our recent. That's where Bitcoin is right now. So it's sitting around here. We've now tapped into that zone and we've come out. Do you remember as well, friends, I showed you this zone, okay? I think it was two episodes of Juicy News ago. I showed you there's a style I literally watched one video. I'm like, oh, I could pick their trades now. It's like ICT liquidity trap forming. So there's this thing pumped up, okay? So to enter the trade, you go and you buy at the exact midpoint and your stop is, so you would bid here and your stop is under the second candle. Okay, under the first or second candle. So right here. So you'd be risking 500, but then your upside is 3,200. So you're risking 1 to make 2. So it's kind of funny. It literally got you exactly. You just had to bid it on the open, and now it's come back in. So maybe that trade that plays out. But I guess no one's excited for a $3,200 Ethereum whatsoever, which is quite sad because, you know, it was $4,000 years and years and years ago. Got some more charts here just to show you too. This is more of a zoom up of what it looks up close. Remember, the far left is us now, and the second, third, and fourth is what it's done in the past. Here has this up only part, up only, up only. Now, the story, I guess, if you're following this, I don't know what market's gonna do, but just informing you, blockchain backer thinks it's all over soon. He literally thinks we are working our way up to this part here, and it's all over. You see this? So he believes we've just completed this part, the ABCD part. We've just done that. And now he thinks we're going to do this part, which is Bitcoin pretty much going to about 125K. And then he believes it's all over. Okay. Now, see how this thing continues up on the right-hand side? He does not believe in that. He thinks it's literally all over. And that's why we're working our way into that. Remember, friends, even Uncle Bobby, a lot of people have just postulated about this. That's all over. But, okay, I still believe in my groins and my loins and my pointy elbows. It's a believer's cycle. I think it's a believer's cycle. I believe it's a believer's cycle, right? And look, I know it's tough to even say this, but I'm not content with a $3 trillion crypto industry. All right, I don't think we waited this long to like stop at 3 to 5 trillion. Like, remove the charts, remove everything. Just in my mind, man, Donald Trump, global liquidity, pro crypto administration, StableCoin SuperCycle, crypto IPO bubble, Bitcoin Treasury bubble. It just doesn't feel like, oh, you're only going to 5 trillion. It doesn't feel like that, you know? You know, friends, sometimes, like, do you ever do mathematics at school? Sometimes a teacher will be like, hey, like, you know, or if you ever do some, like, basic economics or finance quiz stuff where, like, sometimes the teachers will be like, hey, when you write an answer of, like, a yield, sometimes they're like, oh, calculate the new price for the bond. We put the interest rate up, right? But you know intuitively, okay, at the end, check your answer. Like, don't do the math, just check your answer intuitively. They're like, okay, they gave me a higher interest rate on the bond. Is my number lower than what the starting price was? Just like conceptually, just as like a quick check. Because, you know, you don't want to put the price went up, then you know you did the maths wrong. I'm trying to do that type of approach here, not using like quantitative numbers and stuff out here. And I'm just thinking, did we really spend, we went to like 2.5, 3 trillion. Did we really do all of that to just like get to 5 trillion when the stock market's 150? So I don't think so. That's personally, I don't think so, right? But, you know, I'm just giving you the information. That's all. Okay, so there are people who believe it's all over soon. Look, man, I wouldn't be surprised if we do get this part where it really does look like it's all over right here. It goes to 130. We come back. There's a slice, but then we actually go back to 250 later on in the year. So I guess we'll see what happens in the midst of that chaos. We'll see what type of euphoria top signals we get. This is a zoom up of XRP. Okay, this is a zoom up of XRP. And so I'm just showing you that we might be entering a bit of this boring period for a lot of the coins where these things kind of go sideways. There's a bit of like an excitement part, which is here, and then like another like, oh no, is it over? And then pop. All right. So these things, obviously, they tend to fractal each other. The thing is though, so if you're sitting at home, you're looking at this, you go, oh, these squiggly lines seem to follow each other. Not fully true. Directionally, it's correct. Okay. But that doesn't tell you anything really. It's like, oh, everything's going up. Okay. The juice is how much it goes up. That's the juice, you know, because they're printing money anyway. You know, global liquidity is going up. It's kind of like, okay, you can say in the next 10 years, I can tell you in the next 10 years, gold's up, S&P 500 is probably up, Bitcoin's up, right? A lot of things are up, property is up. Okay, but how much are they up? Yeah, so, okay, everything went up, you know? There's a complete difference between being up 10% and being up 210%, as we know, you know? So our goal is to try to find things that are sensitive to the upside on how much things are going up, right? Let me know what you think, friends. Do you think it's really over soon? A lot of people do think it's over. They think it's some sort of rotational top. And just to add to all of that, I see AI, man. AI is not done. It's got to end with a bubble mania. It has to. So let's crack on with some news as well. PulseChain pDAI, friends, has rallied. It rallied 52% up, which was quite astonishing. I've got more updates here for you. I've made more cracker videos recently, going through the story more, what's been happening. So if you check it out, right, PulseChain pioneers, the mystery of pDAI, and the ultimate PulseChain pDAI update. So there are things going on really beneath the hood. PulseChain pioneers building out Aave, Compound, the PulseChain versions out here, really trying to make something big. Okay, now this is pDAI's price chart out here. It is wonderful. I'm not gonna shy away from this. I think, dude, look, I don't have to explain myself to anyone. I don't give a shit. I am waking up every day. I have a thesis, StableCoin SuperCycle. I spoke about it 9 months ago. Okay, I said StableCoin SuperCycle, and I'm literally every day I'm waking up. Every day there's news that keeps confirming it. Bang, 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 bang. And I'm conceptually can see, oh, there's a first cycle unicorn in a stablecoin supercycle. It's pDAI. So you get to participate in stablecoin supercycle with an enormous upside if this thing plays out, because this is the only stablecoin being built potentially without a blacklist function. Okay? The rest have blacklist functions. Just to let you know as well, if you release a stablecoin, you're not allowed to give out yield. Everything's got to be regulated, and it's got to be in America only. You know? So you might say, Somi, but is what we're doing here illegal? No. Okay? This is not a stablecoin. It's unstable. All right? Stablecoin is just a term. Yeah? Why can't we just make something stay at around the dollar? That doesn't mean it's a stablecoin. It's unstable. All right? That's the whole thing about it. Also, friends, Donald Trump has shared his thoughts on people fading PulseChain and pDAI right now.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
There you go, sir. Thank you so much, Donald Pump, giving it to us straight. And of course, we are following up from the peace talks, a ceasefire and everything from Iran, not to be confused with I walked. It's Iran and Israel. So how these things going to play out? World War III FUD, always and over. Okay, well, it happened. Remember the friends, it was India and Pakistan. I remember that came out and I was like, I don't think India and Pakistan are going to stop this bull market, bro. Just, you know what I mean? And they're like, they had to up it. The universe knew it. Knew, oh, they're not believing it. Let's up it up a bit. So in other news as well, the Federal Housing Finance Agency will study how crypto holdings affect mortgage qualifications, a move led by the new director, Bill Pulte, a longtime Bitcoin investor. So what's going on here, right? When you see this, they're basically going to check out how does crypto holdings affect your mortgage. So that is their first check. So banks can accept your crypto. I guess you can store it on the banks and it will be used as collateral for loans. So they can let you do, I guess, DeFi, but it's not really DeFi, it's CeFi. So they can let you do that. So first they want to check, like, you know, if you have it, does it help and everything out here. This is the first step. So we might see more of this stuff continue later on. In other cracker news, USDT Tether hits an all-time high in supply. So it's over 156 billion now. Once again, stablecoin supercycle. And remember, if you are holding Tether USDT, the T is for trash and you are a cuckold. You're sitting in the hotel cuck chair. Because Tether takes all the yield for themselves and they give you nothing. They keep it for themselves. So not only are you losing purchasing power, you're getting no yield as well. So why do people even do it? Not many options, that's why. But now they will have options. Yeah, so, and they can literally freeze and blacklist you in 2 seconds as well. Remember, PulseChain pDAI is superior in that it can pump, unlike Tether, which is trash. And I mean, like the height of arrogance, the Tether CEO literally thinks Tether, rubbish company, thinks they're worth 2.2 trillion market cap. Do you understand? Like anybody in the world can copy paste your business in 1 second, right? They just accept everyone's USD deposits and give them a shitty stablecoin that doesn't pump. Okay, and give them no yield. So the more yield that Tether has to hand out, the less money they make. Where are you going to make your money? Okay, so obviously now what Tether's probably trying to do is capitalize on where they're accepted, but it's just a matter of time before all these other things make them. Like, just perfect example. If you have an app and Tether comes and makes a partnership, you can just tell Tether, hey bro, guess what? We don't need you. We'll make our own dollar. We'll collect the dollars for themselves. We'll hold the government bonds and we'll like rinse the consumer. Then it's just it's a race to the bottom. That's what happens, man. So this is a lesson for you to know. When you are selling a commodity, it's a race to the bottom. Yeah, you can't differentiate yourself. When you're dealing with a stable coin, that's what makes it tough. Now, as well, to add to this, more news coming your way. Japan's Financial Services Agency has proposed classifying crypto under a new act, pretty much. And they could legalize Bitcoin ETFs. And right now, they could replace the 55% progressive tax with a flat 20% on crypto gains. I think every government in the world should do this, and they should pretty much track it at the end, not make this whole transaction every 2-second bullshit stuff out here. That's what the government should do out there, because it's just, it's a new financial world, man. New financial world. So the more governments that accept this, the better for all of us, but also brings us closer to the top. The NASDAQ-listed Nano Labs, they've entered a $500 million convertible note agreement to start buying BNB. Interesting. No more Bitcoin, just BNB. Okay, they want to accumulate $1 billion worth of BNB. They want to buy, look at this, they're targeting 5 to 10% of the total supply. Wow. So this is like your first inkling, because this is the first step for companies to start buying altcoins, is when you look at the top 10, friends, BNB is the only profitable thing out of this whole list. Now, it's not necessarily just true to say it by itself, because BNB has a company attached to it. So BNB, why it's the best pick for most companies, is it's attached to Binance, a unicorn exchange which actually makes money. They can think about it. It's like a crypto with a cash flow. Yeah, and they like thinking about the world like that. It's a link to it. Now, we know in crypto, they're not measured based off cash flow. They're measured like cities. Yeah, the more people, the more value, even though there's no cash flow, because there's people conducting transactions in there. But that's hard for like Johnson & Johnson boomer stock owners to grasp, because they're like, oh, bricks and mortar, assets and balance sheet flow. That's all they think about. So they can't possibly comprehend this. So that's why they'll never get this until everybody gets it. But by then, all the opportunity's gone. Okay, so it's a logical step for everyone to buy BNB. Remember, friends, Bhutan, the nation of Bhutan, who unfortunately, oh man, you guys have messed this up so bad. Remember Bhutan, 30% of the GDP was in Bitcoin. But for the past year and a half, the corrupt politicians and government workers in Bhutan, they have been selling the Bitcoin to pay themselves double and triple their normal salary. So they've been literally selling all of their Bitcoin. Ah, man, corruption. That's why you can't do this. This Treasury is not... It's probably an insight as to how it's going to play out in the future for a lot of these nations. So they're going to buy Bitcoin, and then as it goes up, the government workers who own the Bitcoin Treasury, they're just going to start selling it. That's why they have to write it into their law that they're not allowed to sell. But in these little corrupt countries, no one listens anyway. So it's very sad, right? Check this out too, friends. An Ethereum developer, Barnaby Minnow, proposes EIP 7782. So this is a big one, right? It will cut block times to 6 seconds. Right now, it's like 12 seconds. It'll boost speed, slash your DeFi fees, and enhance the user experience in 2026's Glamsterdam upgrade. Now, when I saw this, I automatically thought of our good friend Ivan on Tech, and he's like, guys, why are we talking about 2026, bro? Just push the button and do it now. Why do we have to wait that long? Because they're like, oh, we got to look credible and neutral. Look, in my opinion, and remember, friends, I'm not Anunnaki, okay? I might have Anunnaki blood, but I don't know that, okay? I'm not Anunnaki. I am just a squirrel with pointy elbows who holds his own nuts. Vitalik, you got to drop this whole pure decentralization bullshit, okay? Bitcoin's won the game, okay? If people want decentralization, they go there, okay? No one wants, oh, give me the second best decentralization thing in the world. No one cares about that, all right? You got to up the ante, man. And by the way, the market doesn't give a shit about what you've been doing right now. Obviously, look at ETH-BTC being down this low. So I think Ethereum has to double down and go, you know what? We're not the most decentralized. We're good, but we're not the most, and we're not trying to compete on that. We're going to make things faster and better because you have all the liquidity and everything out here. So we'll see if these things speed it up. But yeah, it's pretty much got a long way to go. I'll be honest, friends. With ETH-BTC, man, it's down 88% after 8 years. So we'll see. Bitcoin, friends, now makes up nearly 1/3 of investor crypto portfolios, as I mentioned to you before, seeing you that. So we're going to do more coverage on that later on. But that's interesting. Most people under-allocated to altcoins. Like the average person has 1/3 of their portfolio in stablecoins, which is just, this is the funniest. This is how it works, man. This is markets, yeah? Altcoins are the cheapest they've been since, look at this, in 8 years. Okay, literally the cheapest they've ever been in 8 years. Okay, and statistically, actually, if you check it out, like we've come back to the same ratio in 5 years. So you're telling me you give no value to StableCoin SuperCycle, DeFi improvements, pump fund, all these other tech and other things that come out. You're giving it zero value. Okay, it's funny, they're the cheapest it's ever been, and people have the least allocation they've ever had, which is what happens, right? And then look what's going to happen when altcoins are up here. They will have the most they've ever had. I'm like, oh, that's funny. It's the most expensive it's ever been in history, and you have the highest allocation you've ever had to it. And they'll all come to buy the top. Now, what did Jerome Powell, major loser, say? So, very friends, the US Fed, not only are they scum, but they've got a major loser. Friends, this is really bad for America, man. Even the stock market guys who are like all about, Johnson & Johnson, cash flow, balance sheets, those guys are starting to take pot shots at the Fed. They're starting to say the Fed's too political. They're starting to say, oh yeah, anybody could listen to that. They're like, oh, an arm, and like that. First, this is funny, right? In 2022, when they were hiking rates, they were forward-looking. They're like, oh, inflation's going up, so we got to keep hiking. Okay. How come now you're not forward-looking? How come now it's, oh, no, wait and see. How come back in 2022, when you couldn't wait to kill our bull market with your interest rate hikes, you're like, oh, forward-looking, inflation's going to keep going up. And by the way, they were correct about inflation going up. Do you remember when inflation was like 5% back in 2022? Yeah, and then like in midway of the year, and then like by September, October, it like spiked to 9%. So they were correct about their forward lookers. But now they're like, oh, we can't see anything. Whoa. They're scum. Jerome Powell says he will reaffirm a wait-and-see stance, offers no signal on rate cuts in prepared testimony. He also says we will continue when the time is right. Banks can engage in crypto and tariff-driven inflation. So you don't even really need to look at his comments, but the market has now priced in 2 cuts. You see, friends, remember we were talking about this? It's now 0.5. Do you remember a few days ago, it was around here? And I go, look, man, this thing's probably going to go cut at the definitive 2 cuts. Here we are now. So as time moves on, things slow down a bit. It'll probably like continue even more. The world's biggest prediction market, PolyMarket, is nearing a deal raise, more than $200 million funding. So that'll be a market cap of $1 billion. So PolyMarket got very popular. Bring the normies in. You can gamble on anything. I don't use it myself, but it is interesting. Like people created markets on whether the US would airstrike Iran. It had like a 35% odds. And I was like, whoa, man, you guys are that sure? And they were right. So people making odds and stuff out here. What we might find is if anybody can make a betting market, okay, this is interesting to think about. We now are incentivized to, if we have inside information, you want people to bet against you, yeah? So if you have insider information, you have every incentive to market to the world about a news story for them to take a punt on. And you have an incentive to lie. Yeah. Because you make more money. So for example, let's say you knew that Donald Trump was definitely going to airstrike Iran, right? And you're incentivized to make the market now. I don't even know how you make it, but you're incentivized to create this market. And you are also incentivized to put fake statistics out there in the world. Yeah. So fake statistics where you pretty much, let's say the market was opening, it was trading like 20% odds. Yeah. So, yeah, you are, like I said, you have, the money is saying you should create informational marketing pieces to the world to make up BS statistics and say, oh, America has never airstruck without, this or this or this or that. Just this lie to everyone. And then because you want people to just provide you infinite liquidity to basically keep the odds down at 20% or to sell it down to 10% because they all think it's free money, Then you have, friends, exactly what happens in markets right now, right? Where people like, the news, the bad news gets timed. Everyone they smash it down. And the people who are buying, they have every incentive to tell you, oh, it's totally over. Yeah, bear market's going to start. It's going to go for 10 years this time because you're trying to get filled on as much size. It's interesting what will play out with that. Justin as well. President Trump's admin may issue executive order to stop banks from cutting off crypto firms, aiming to end Operation Choke Point 2.0. This might be one of those, bull market euphoria type of things where at the end, I can see myself saying, guys, the government loves crypto. Everybody's in crypto. Every state has it. Everyone's got a stable coin. Tick, 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 tick. We have fulfilled all our destiny. The prices we're getting now, this is euphoria. I can see myself saying that. That is like a ghost repetition fractal of Richard Fart back in 2021 at the top when he kept. Remember, friends, what did Richard? If you listen, when Richard called the top, there's only one sentence you need to remember from that, and it'll save your booty. Okay, it's when Richard Hart said, "Guys, the world's most popular man already bought. He already told everybody he likes it. Yeah, this is the price." He got in Elon Musk. He got in Feb. 3 months later, here we are. Right? So just that thinking itself. It's like, wait, we got everything, dude. The world's most popular man, the wet dream happened. He changed his Twitter logo to a Bitcoin logo and he likes it now. He's in. Right? So that's what we might have. I say, guys, the world's most popular man and the world's most powerful country, Donald Trump and America, like crypto. They have their stable coin. They have DeFi. They have everything, bro. They literally have done everything in crypto. He even released the meme coin, dude. He released the meme coin. He released a stable coin. He's got an ETF. ChainLink has partnered with MasterCard to let 3 billion plus cardholders buy crypto directly on chain. Big. So everyone is coming out here to do these. This is just a ChainLink logo. But yeah, does it. Perfect case study, man. If you're in PulseChain. Luckily, I know this, man, because it gives you comfort. Not that you really want it, but you just want your price to go up. But look at ChainLink versus ETH ratio, dude. ChainLink, friends, is still down 90% after 5 years against Ethereum. Okay, it's down 93% against Bitcoin in 5 years. Look at all this news that happens. Bro, everyone's using you, everything, all the good news. But that's why I just tell you, friends, the narrative is Fugazi. It's all about the business cycle. All of it. Yeah, the business, that's the only common factor with all of these. The business cycle's low. Different coins, different decentralization metrics, different logos, different people. Doesn't matter. It's the business cycle that's down. That's the common theme. Anthony pumps ProCap and buys 3,700 BTC, okay, after announcing a $1 billion merger. We'll continue to see more news like this as more companies buy Bitcoin, put them on the balance sheet. President Trump's Truth Social files for Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. So that's also on the agenda, friends. Remember, everyone's releasing an ETF. Everyone's releasing a stable coin. Okay, so it's nothing to be worried about now because we haven't got the mania part, okay, where the non-believers are in. That's what we're ultimately waiting for. So we check it out right here. This is the Bitcoin price. We'll put it on a daily. We are ready to go. We are definitely ready to go now. Just to show you, if you just do basic fibs, I don't know if these things are going to hold, but if you do a basic fib, maybe that target is 130. Target's 130, something hits here, and then, by the way, we've got a blood moon in September. So you never know. It might go, and everyone thinks it's over. That might actually happen, okay? Actually, you know what's funny, friends? We might be able to draw like a channel going like this, yeah? So Bitcoin might actually do that. Go up to 120, come back here, everyone thinks it's over, and then it's a believer's cycle. Wow, that'd be great. Just full transparency, we could be totally wrong and it is actually over. That could happen too. But I guess we'll find out. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.